Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today is Lifestyle Wednesdays. On Monday we talked about order, and we're going to talk about order today, but from the perspective of lifestyle. So I talked a little bit about orders, and actually it did start first with spiritual when we decided to put our house in order. There are just different plans that we have, and for us at the end of the year, there's just a lot going on. We're always preparing ourselves and readying ourselves like for the new year and the things that, goals that we have yet to meet. Really taking the time to really see why haven't those goals been met, and really putting time into meeting those goals. So we end up really talking about that one night at Bible study, and those plans that we have, and just different things that we can do to stay in line with that. So for us, we were really able to sit down. Initially, it was just me and my husband, where we sat down and had a conversation about just different things that we can do in the household. There were different plans that we wrote out, but there were things that were stopping us from executing or keeping that consistency. So we came together and put a plan together. So I'm going to tell you some of the things that we've done in our house to put things back in order and help organize. That way we can fulfill the things that we know are set for us to do in this year and leading into the new year. So, the first one was a plan, like sitting down. Some of the plans that we made, again, were from last year, sitting down and like coming up with that plan. That's something that we do in our house, but we also do it, as we are very much the church and a part of a church body here locally in San Antonio. So we kind of set forth, we call it a map, coming up with those plans that we'll need for our ministry, like the action plan that we'll need for our ministry. So sitting down, writing a plan, and really looking at what we've already written down, and seeing where some things kind of need to be shifted and changed and things like that. So we sat down and came up with a plan. Now, usually when it comes to household stuff, like, I do love to like make purchases, but what I found just over time now, by caring for our household and supporting our household, what I have found is to really just like try to do that plan with what you have in your house. And that's something that's also scriptural, like what's in your house, like what's in your hand now. And because sometimes we'll use that as a way to delay our plans because we feel that we don't have the proper resources and all of that. But if you look around, you can see like, what do I have? And that's something that I'm learning as I'm working on my book. Like, no, I've never published a book, or I don't have a publisher and all of that. But it's like, what do I have? Like, I have pen, I have paper, I have, my Bible, I have my laptop, and just I have the experiences that I've had over a lifetime and with God. So it's just like, just start writing the book, like, and all those other things will fall in place, like when I'm just focused and really thoughtful in those small things that I have before me. So I do that same thing like with our house and our lifestyle. Before, I would go and we would come up with a plan. I would go shopping and buy this different stuff for our household, and then that just physically that day shopping and planning all that, then I get home and don't actually like really clean and organize, like I should. So what I started doing was just going straight forward. Once we have a plan, just starting to like clean and organize our house. So for us, we live in an apartment. So for me, I started, we have like a living room. We're in an apartment, so it's like living room, dining room, kitchen area. So I start from the front of our house and work our way to the back. So that's that, I guess the common area. And then I, join in with the kids in their rooms, and then we organize the bathrooms. Then we come to like our room and then our closet. So that's kind of the plan that we came up with. And just doing that, because before I would get too caught up in like going to buy stuff and buying new decorations and all that other stuff, and I'm spending my day. It's not wasteful, but you want to see what you have in your house first, and start executing that plan, and then you can go out and purchase the things that you need, but getting those base things done. This is just my recommendation. I know you do what you want. You have your own purse, your own coins, and how you spend them. I'm not telling you. I'm just telling you what works for us to help us be more effective. So I just start cleaning and organizing. The other tip that I will give, the second tip, is make it a family affair. That's something that I've also learned over time, with caring for our household and helping support my husband as head of our household, is trying to do it all on my own and in my own strength. Like, that is absolutely ridiculous, and that's not something that I need validation in. Like, I'm a wife and I'm a mother, and that just doesn't change. So I stopped trying to like achieve so many things or prove so many things or be validated in so many things. So it's when we come up together, we come up with a plan as a family. Like I said, usually me and my husband talk about it, and then we'll really talk about it with the kids, because they may have perspective or insight that we don't know or we don't see. So we will sit and talk with them and consider what they're saying, and then we come out with that execution plan that we're all going to work together as a family. So then it's not just on me. So for the kids, and it's not just on them. It's not just on one person in the household. So, because my husband has a traditional job that he has to go to, of course, there are things that I can do here while I'm in the home, as far as like cleaning and organizing and stuff like that. And then when the kids get home and their homework is done, then they kind of help in that. So he comes and helps with helping me move particular things, or moving furniture, all of that stuff, things that well, for the most part, I'm pretty good about doing stuff like that. But when he gets home, those are things that he will help with, and then the kids join in. So I allow them not to I just don't go and just clean and purge all their room. Like, I want them to go through those steps, because I want them to be able to sustain it. Because if I'm the one that is doing it, I'm going to be the one that's going to have to always sustain it and always clean their room. So I found that it works better when I work through that process with them, because then they know, oh, this is where I decided to put this, or this is the way that I decided to organize this. So that's helped a lot, and it physically helps my own body, because I would just be hurting from trying to do everything for everybody, and that does not work in sustaining the lifestyle that we have as a family. 3, the other tip that I will give, it is going to look worse before it looks better. So anyone that has organized or done a spring cleaning in their home, like, it's gonna look worse, because you're gonna have to pull a lot of stuff out to then reorganize, align that stuff, and put it back in. So that's another reason why I work from room to room. And then I start in the living room, and then in the living room, because that's kind of the biggest space that we have in our apartment, I pull out this table that I have that folds out, and that's kind of the catch-all table. So I may be cleaning something in the living room and it's something in the kids' room, so that goes on that table, so I can keep working, cleaning up in the space. But that's a table that I know once I move on to the kids' room, then that's something that goes into the kids' room, or that's something that belongs into our room. So it looks like a mess, but it's like you're shifting and you're moving and you're cleaning behind things that, a lot of things are taking place. So do not be discouraged on how it looks, because it will look worse before it gets better. So that's just something that I would just encourage you in when you're organizing and cleaning things in your house. Another thing is, like, now once you get to that purchase stage, like let's say that I was in my living room, which we didn't have to. Once I planned it and started cleaning, I found just different storage bins and things that we already had. But let's say that there was something that we're in need of. Like the last time we did the big cleaning and we cleaned under our cabinets, I ended up going to the Dollar Tree, and because I wanted to like color code certain things, so things that would clean anything that cleans something in the kitchen. I think I have like all blue, so I wanted all the same containers. So I did that. I did that for like every area of the house, but I just cleaned under the cabinet, reorganized stuff, and then I went out to the Dollar Tree and I knew then, based on the products that I had, what size containers I need and how many of that particular color I needed and stuff like that. So it stopped me having to run back and forth to the store. It stopped me from having overages and buying stuff that I didn't need. So that was something that we did. And also another thing that we keep on our catch-all table is like things that we are gonna donate. So sometimes we'll have specific places or certain people that we know, like our church does like a literacy book drive, so we know like, okay, that just doesn't go in there with all the clothes and stuff. We know to kind of put those aside. Or we know it's fall now going into winter, so any jackets that we have, we know that there are certain places that we're gonna take those jackets too. So in our catch-all table, then those things slowly get moved into bins and bags for areas that we're gonna donate. And of course there's trash bags everywhere, because there's a lot of stuff that you can get rid of. And that's another tip, like not being afraid to let stuff go. I know if it's certain paperwork, you may want to look up online. Now everything's Googleable, so you can Google and see what are some paperworks, how long you should keep your tax paperwork or any paperwork that you have. Shredders are not that expensive. You can get like decent shredders that will even like even shred like credit cards and stuff. So you can find that, in your local superstore or whatever. So those are things that you can do, but purchase those things once you've organized. So we'll just, even all our paperwork at the time, we'll just put in big bins and just start cleaning the bigger areas. And then that's easy. Or if I'm sore, I'm tired, it's easy then to sit that bin right in front of the couch. And as I'm relaxing, like going through that paperwork, but it's all in one central place, if that makes sense. So, but that tip really is like, do not purchase until you know you need it. And until you have cleaned and organized, you don't really know what you need in some of the sizes that you need. So that's something that I would say. And then the final thing is make a plan to keep it that way. When we clean in our house or we organize, or even what I talked about before in our grocery shopping, just shopping once a week, like come up not only with the action plan to execute what you want to do in that moment, but also come up with a plan for how you're going to sustain that moment, or sustain that in your household. So for us, it's the biggest thing in our lifestyle, is we have kind of like a command board. So in our kitchen area, like I said, that's one of our biggest areas, our common area. And what we decided to do on, because of the wall space, we ended up putting like in between the pantry and the refrigerator, we put like this command board, and it states like what chores need to be done daily before we go to sleep, what chores we're going to do weekly, what chores we're going to do like once a month when we're doing like our big clean sweeps, and then what's going to happen quarterly. And then Jada decided to add, she's learning Japanese, and even before that, she would like once a week she'll put up like a word and a definition, because she really wants to expand her vocabulary. And then on the other wall, we put our family wall calendar that will have anything that's going on in our household. It's not just individualized, but anybody. Like if Jaden is having something at school, Jada, it all goes on there. And the kids now know, like, if you get something in your notebook and it's something that you want the family to go to, like, you need to write that down. So that's like our general wall calendar. And then beside that, we put the kids, they're in the same district, so we put their district school calendar, because it's just an easy way when once a month we're reviewing what we're going to do for that next month. It's easy to just go there and be like, oh, they have early release, or oh, they're off this day, or something like that. So those are things that we do in our household, because it's wonderful and time consuming and physically aching at times to really do this deep clean of your whole house. And it's sad within as long as it took you to do that it can take like a couple of days to have it all back messed up, especially in a house of 4 for us, and we're in a small apartment. So we really not only come up with a plan, but come up with a plan to sustain what we already have executed. So I hope these tips help. I will talk about order. I've talked about some organization in closets before, but I'll talk a little bit more about how I organize my beauty and fashion, and how I just maintain that order on Fashion and Beauty Fridays. So I hope again that these tips were helpful. I always just ask that if you like the video, go ahead and like the video with a thumbs up. If you found it helpful, or you know that it's someone it could be helpful to, then go ahead and pass this information along to a friend or family member, because I am trying to grow my subscribers. So as always, I love you, God loves you, and have a blessed day. Bye.